G'day, Noxie here. Welcome to my second video. Hopefully it'll be a little better edited than the first one. Of course, please let me know in the comments section what you think, what I can do better. I'm pretty committed to trying to make this a channel that people enjoy. In this video we're racing a GTE Chevy Corvette at Road Ameria, 45-minute race. I'm going to try and talk through kind of my thought processes and how I manage the race, how I make the overtakes, all that kind of stuff. I noticed that a lot of people in the iRacing community, they tend to kind of find themselves somewhere and try and dive down the inside, and that's probably not the best way to go about it. So on to the race. So coming up to the start line, obviously we want to get the best start we can, but at this stage what I'm really thinking about is just making sure that I don't get into too much trouble at the start. I don't want to lose spots, but I also, I'm not going to try and win it first turn. Road America though, they'll cut in. So green light, just trying to stay close to the car in front. Trying to stay on the inside, we don't want to have any big dives. Cut to an outside view. Unfortunately we get a bit caught out here where too wide, everybody in front has managed to sort themselves out before we get there. Have a little wiggle on the exit as well, a little bit of oversteer, so I'm caught on the inside. Just trying to make sure that I get through this turn cleanly. I do, but I've left myself open to attack. I have two guys behind me who are pretty aggressive, Jürgen and Victor. I've raced Victor a few times and he'll be a bit of a feature in this video. So Jürgen has to go around the outside, doesn't really work out for him, and I'm fairly safe now. So all I'm going to concentrate now on is just trying to hold the position. I mean, not lose too much to the guys in front. All starts kicking off, somebody's made a mistake. Brings Matthew Broom. So Matty's a really good racer actually. I respect him a lot. Racing a lot in GTEs.
How are we going?
So it's obviously David who's had a mistake. So again, we're just settling in. We don't want to be too aggressive. Tyres are still a little bit cold. Much better in these. This is the old tyre. So we've already got grip right now as compared to the GTE. So it goes a bit wide there. So again, just hanging in where we want to be. We don't want to lose too much time. Ideally, we try and make a gap on the guys in front. And I do make a bit of a mistake up here. So I don't intend to overtake Matt here, which is probably the mistake I made. I probably should have ensured I made that overtake, but I was trying to be conservative. What happens down this straight then is I'm left one out and I don't have a drive. Jürgen's very smart, he pushes Matty through. He knows that he'll get there. Notice that Jürgen moves in quite a lot on the entry there. And that becomes a bit of a theme in a second. So I've lost momentum, which allows Victor through. There's not much we can do about it, and there's no point really fighting it, but what I'm trying to do there is just get back into line, make sure I've got the draft from Victor, make sure I'm not going to lose any more spots. Coming down here, I was still a little bit slow on exit, just because of the one's line, so I take the inside. Peter again is a pretty good driver, he's not going to do anything silly. And we finally managed to settle in, so we've lost 2 spots, which is not ideal, but we're just going to consolidate now for a lap or two and just kind of see what's going on. So I've raced Victor before, and you can see he's B rated, fairly low safety rating. Victor goes pretty hard, to be honest. He's quick. As you can see, he's got a pretty good high rating. But I noticed pretty quickly that he's pushing very, very hard. He's taking bits of grass, The other thing I noticed is that like I'm not catching him on the straights even though I'm in the draft, so he's obviously running less wind than me as well. So what I decided to do is just, I'm not going to try and overtake him, I'm just going to pressure him. I'm quicker through the corners. I can't overtake him on the straights anyway, so it's going to be difficult to get the overlap that I want to be able to really kind of get him into one of the corners at the end of the straight. It's kicking off a little bit in front. I actually lift off a little bit here and just let them get at it. And Victor, from my view here, it looks like Victor has pushed Jürgen off. So I've got a look at the replay. And actually, again, Jürgen seems to come across a little bit. It's less clear cut than I thought it was. It looks like Jürgen turns in a touch, Victor's coming back out. And Jürgen's rejoin is not great, let's be honest. What it does do though is it releases both myself and Victor to just drive laps. He obviously wants to catch Matty Broom. And I don't want to take any big risks at this stage. It's very early in the race. Also, I want to spend a little bit of time just assessing where I'm quicker. I know I'm quicker than Victor most of the time. Racing more. So we're just looking at what he's doing, and again, the thing that I'm noticing is he's pushing super hard. In a 45-minute race, if you push that hard all the time, pretty good chance you're going to make a mistake, or two, or three, or a big mistake, a mistake that's going to cost you places. So again, all we're doing here is just sticking with him, trying to stay in his draft. The big thing is to stay in the draft. He's running really low wind, you can tell, like not catching on the straights. He's still in the draft with Manny in front. That's important too. So one thing I don't want to do though is I don't want to get caught up in my thinking. I don't want to end up losing touch with Manny. Unfortunately, that will happen. We'll do the best we can. So at this point I've decided, okay, I'm going to sit with him 0.2, 0.3 with the pressure on his driving really, really hard. I'm quicker than him, I'm keeping up with him even though he's driving like it's a rally car and like every lap was the last lap. So it's all about just pressure. And also, given his safety rating, we know that he does make mistakes. The person who doesn't make too many mistakes doesn't have a 1.7B rating. And Victor, if you watch this, mate, this is no criticism. This is just my thought process, how I'm assessing how I'm going to get forward, how I'm trying to read the race. Because I think it's really important in a 45-minute race that you don't just go hell for leather. You've really got to get to the end. I can go a big dive. As you can see, I've got better brakes than him. I didn't intend to try and overtake Victor there. And you'll see I back out pretty early because I know Victor's going to race me. Take it nice and easy through this corner. Get back to him. Unfortunately, what that does is it means we've lost touch with Matty. It brings Peter back into the game as well. But still, it's only lap 4 of a 23-lap race. We want to live to fight another day. Okay, so at this stage, I'm feeling like I've got Victor under heaps of pressure. I'm still not trying to make any big dives. Just trying to make sure that he can see that I'm right there. Just trying to make him look in the mirrors more than he's looking behind. I know I'm quicker in the corners. I know he's not going to drop me, and as long as I stay close to him, I'll be able to put pressure on him. Down here, I'm just trying to get close. Again, just trying to get close. He makes a little mistake. I've got to back out. Again, that brings Peter back into the equation. Again, we lose more time to Matty. But P9, we and he qualified P8. If we do something silly, we'll come last. If we have an accident, we'll come last. Just watching the way Victor's driving, there's a fair chance, like, we know he's going to find me. There's a pretty big chance that if I try and do a big dive somewhere, and we've seen he's had a bumpy doing as well, we just don't want that to be us. So patience is the better part of valor. We don't want Matty getting away, but we also don't want to be upset. And there he goes. So ultimately, watching Victor drive, it was clear that he was going to have a problem. It was clear that So looking at the replay, and from inside the car, I wasn't sure whether he just locked up the rear tyres or what he'd done. And what he's done is he's just taken one little bit too much grass. He's just driving too hard. He's not leaving any room for error at all. And you know, if you're Max Verstappen, you can do that, right? Or if you're, Mark Calvert, like that's how those really fast guys do it, but they don't drop wheel do it. So now it's a matter of, I've lost a lot of time adding but just drive quick laps. All I'm trying to do at this point is catch back up to Matty, so we've moved forward a few laps here. Managed to take a bit of time out and we're back to 2.1 seconds. The thing I want to demonstrate here is that during this lap and during previous laps, I'm working out where I'm quicker than that. I know I'm catching him at about half a second a lap. What I'm finding is that through the corners, I'm quicker than him. On the straights, he's quicker than me, which would suggest that he's running less downforce, or his car is slightly different. So you can see he's pulling away. If you look on the left-hand side there, he's now 2.1, he was at 1.9 through the corner. And then through this complex of corners here, I catch up. So down to 1.9. And that's what I'm trying to demonstrate here, is I'm trying to work out, while I'm driving, where, if I'm going to overtake, if I'm going to catch him, and I think I will, where do I want to overtake him? How do I want to overtake him? Because I don't want to overtake him right before 3 long straights, because he'll just go straight past me. I need to overtake him prior to this bit of the track, the twisty bits, where I can take half a second down and straight. So there's a lot of, there's some thought about it, there's some strategy involved. It's not just a case of catch up behind and then throw it down the inside. And you see he's pulled out again on the straight. Catch him again coming into this section. So I know where I'm faster than him. I know where I need to overtake him. So the plan will be to overtake him into the hairpin so that I can pull away and twist him part of the track. We'll see whether I can manage it. I'll be able to manage it sliding out of the last turn. So we're in P7. But to be honest with you, I was pretty happy with P7. You know, it's plus 26. It's okay. I would have been okay with that. But obviously, we've still got 25 minutes left in this race. We've had a real crack at trying to catch Matty, trying to catch Jamie.
What the fuck is that stupid cunt?
And then...
Good move,
yeah. Kicks off.
Fucking idiot.
Yeah, good move, good move.
I get a position here.
Yeah, right.
I'm up in the P6. We'll go back and have a look at what happened here, because I obviously didn't know what had happened. I'm driving along, so here's what's going on. These guys are close. It's David and I can't remember the other name. I think it was Greg. And they're coming down the straight in the slipstream. I actually read this as a bit of a just unlucky piece of driving. Like, you know, the Chevy goes to the right, Porsche goes to the left, just as the Chevy goes to the left. I mean, it's not great, but I don't think it was intentional either. I feel like it was, I wouldn't call it a racing incident. It wasn't terrible. So So you can see we're a second behind Matty coming into the pits. The thing I do here is I've got a fuel calculator. Obviously, if you look on the right hand side, I've got it coming this lap. It was telling me 34 litres, but I don't want to have to fuel save it all in the second half of the race. I know I'm quicker than Matt if we're going flat out. Around about half a second a lap. There's still plenty of laps left. There's still 8 laps left. I'm really looking to get Matt out, and I don't want to have to be fuel saving when I'm trying to overtake. Whether Matt had done some fuel saving or whether I was just too conservative, ultimately as we come out of the pits, well, I was just within about a second going into the pits. Unfortunately, I've lost about a second into the pits. But again, I know I'm quicker than Matt, so we'll have a go at catching him. This David's this race was a lot of like driving really fast to try and catch up to Matt. It was a really fun race. It's not very interesting to watch on a replay, but it was really fun. It's something that I love. So we caught up to Matt within the second. We know we're quicker. We know where we're quicker. And so now it's a matter of putting it together in a way to make that advantage. Now I know that Matty is not like Victor. Matty's not going to make a mistake. He's not going to. Although he has done occasionally, but he's not going to be driving on the grass to try and get it. He's a really good driver. He's got a really good safety rating.
You have no downforce. Okay.
I know how he drives.
Adrian, back right, back left.
And I know that he's safe. So what we're going to do is the same as what we did with Victor. We're going to try and get close and we're going to try and pressure on, but we're also, this time, we're coming towards the end of the race. I want to try and catch up to Jamie as well. So we are going to make the move rather than wait for Matty to make a mistake. And so here we go, we're nice and close. We're in about 0.2, 0.3. So what we're going to do here is we're going to try and set up the overtake on the exit to the long straight. So we're going to try and set up the overtake. So what we're going to try and do is we're going to try and be faster out of the corner of the map. We manage it. So
Yeah,
we're nice and close to him. We're within 0.2. And importantly here, as we're coming down the straight, I show Matt where I'm going. I pull out, he knows I'm going down the inside. He decides, because he's smart, to try and do a cutback rather than try and defend into the corner. Does a pretty good cutback, but I've just got enough of the lead that he decides to back out. I leave him space anyway. It's a really good move, it's really good racing. Really respect Matty, he's a top racer. And now, we're back to trying to drive fast. We're back to trying to be quick enough to catch Jamie. Let's see if we can put a move on him. So we caught up to Jamie. What's interesting about this is that Jamie is not pulling away on the straights, but he's a little bit quicker than Matty in the corner. So that tells me that he is running about the same amount of downforce. So it's a different way of going about it. I don't need to overtake Jamie in the same place that I needed to overtake Matt, because as long as I can get 2 or 3 tenths on Jamie before the next long straight, I should be able to stay in front. So now it's a case of literally just being faster than Jamie through all of it. There's no great advantage, there's no great disadvantage. This is now just down to the drive. So we're close enough now to really be thinking about whether we're going to make this move. It's the last lap as well. So if I'm going to do it, I've got to do it this lap. Doesn't mean I'm going to have an accident, because if I do, then obviously I lose all the work I've done. We're trying to set it up. We get a much better exit out of this turn. Initially go to the inside, he defends. Fair enough, that's fine, he can defend. But what that tells me is that he's going to be feisty. It tells me that he's going to really try to stop me from making this overtake. Coming down here, I get in the draft. I pull out early again. Make sure I pull out early. You can see I pulled out. It surprises me that he doesn't defend, but he's going to try and hang it around the outside. Brakes too late, locks up. I've got the position, beautiful. Now I know he's going to have a go, so I stay to the outside and give him space. Unfortunately, Jamie has missed his braking marker and locked up. So this last lap, luckily we don't have too much damage, we can bring it home. You know, you can't win them all. It's, I don't think Jamie did it on purpose. I think maybe he had a bit of a rush of blood. He's quick, so he was having a go, and that's alright. Like, it's disappointing. Obviously, you prefer not to get punted on the last lap, but by the same token, I have no doubt that Jamie did it on purpose. I didn't get on the radio, I didn't start yelling at him or anything. There's no point doing that. That's what it is. So we finish P6, which is pretty good. It's a pretty high
That's
rated.
amazing how you can start in the pits and the series and come in ninth.
Pretty high rated field, so I'm pretty happy with that. It was a fun race. So I hope that you've enjoyed the video. Please again leave me.
Just gotta try to avoid fights.
I will let you just have a look at some of the conversation that happened afterwards here. We get an apology for Jamie, which is nice. Tell me what you like, don't like in the comments. Like, subscribe, do all that stuff. Help out the channel. I'm really, really committed to making something that everybody or that you guys like. Thank you very much for watching, and I look forward to releasing another video for you.